Hi guys, welcome to Hoops Junction. The Cleveland Cavaliers have officially ripped out the heart of every team in the Eastern Conference. No one can compete. Game 2, I had to turn off the game at halftime. 72-31. The Boston Celtics could not compete. And it wasn't necessarily like they could not compete in terms of making shots, because they missed a ton of wide open shots, but their mental focus, their execution was lackluster. And Brad Stevens could not rally the troops after a Game 1 beatdown. Game 2, we got another beatdown. The scores doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what LeBron James was doing, toying with them. It's the entire Cavaliers team was toying with them. It's like the Cavs have shifted into another gear, and they're basically saying, we're just bring Golden State on. That's who we want to face. That's who we want to play. And as much as it is disrespectful to the Eastern Conference overlooking them, it's disrespectful that the competition that the Eastern Conference is bringing to play against the defending champions. If you look out west, even though teams don't have as much firepower as the Warriors, they still try and they still come with that belief. But like Greg Popovich said after they lost Game 2, he said, I feel like our guys don't believe. And that hurt us. And that's what's happening to the entire Eastern Conference. There is no team in the Eastern Conference that truly believes that they can beat the Cleveland Cavaliers, besides the Washington Wizards. And that's a blind belief because they're just saying that out of arrogance. It's not necessarily because they truly believe in themselves enough. They believe in themselves and went to beat the Cavs. But if you say, do you believe you can win the championship, they wouldn't say yes. And that's the thing. Like, the Cavs' ultimate goal is to win the championship. In the Eastern Conference, all the other teams' ultimate goal is not to win a championship. Their championship is beating LeBron, knocking them out the first, second, or Eastern Conference Finals. And that's not the way to go. And that's why the Cavs are playing much better basketball. They're mentally focused. They're good with their rotations. They're getting everything that they want because they know that their ultimate goal is to win the NBA championship. The Cavs are playing championship basketball. They're not trying to play basketball to beat the Celtics. They're playing championship basketball. Championship teams, the reason why they rise to the top and they play so much better than all the other teams, the reason why Golden State swept Portland is because they're playing championship basketball. There's a difference. There's a difference where for example, where people are, for example, like an athlete. Think of a person that's running track. A person that's running track, like a Usain Bolt. When he's running, he's not necessarily running against his peers. He's running against himself. He's trying to beat his fastest time because he knows he has to be better than his last time. It's better than his last race. The Cleveland Cavaliers understand that fact, and they know they have to be better than their last game. And that's what they're doing every time. They're making little adjustments, little tweaks. LeBron plays better and better every single game because he knows his ultimate goal is to win a championship. So that's what I mean. Like, they're not playing against the Celtics. They're playing against their bad habits. They're playing against the critics that say they can't repeat. They're playing for a championship. And teams in the East just don't understand what that means. Because if you look at the way that the Celtics played, they hardly got back on defense. They didn't take prized possession of all their possessions. They had 11 turnovers in the first half, and they had 11 field goals in the first half. So that just tells you how they treat everything. They don't value everything. And it's just like, if you look at the Cavs, every possession is valuable. Every mismatch, they want to get it. They purposely do things methodically to get what they want in the series. And that's why the series is going to be a wrap. The Cavs are most likely going to sweep them. They might as well lay down and die because that's all they've been doing. Laying down and dying because they don't understand. Your goal is not to beat Cleveland. Your goal is to win a championship. When you want to win a championship, there's another level you have to get to. That's why if you look out west, Stephen Curry outplays most people, including Russell Westbrook, and when it comes playoff time. That's why LeBron James, he outplays certain people. That's why Kawhi Leonard outplays people, because they understand championship basketball requires more, requires another level, requires more mental focus, requires more edge, requires more grit. And the Boston Celtics are just not bringing it. Against the Washington Wizards, I guess that's what they felt like was a championship. But if you watch this game, they just laid down and died. No effort. They didn't really try to close out. Every time the Cavs made a shot, they just put their head down. Every time they went in the paint, they went up soft. It's just like they lacked that belief that Greg Popovich was talking about. And I want you to understand something. If you don't have belief in yourself, if you don't have belief in what the things that you're doing, they're not going to work out. No matter how talented you are, no matter how smart you are, if you don't have that belief in yourself and what you're doing, it will not work. And the Celtics lack the belief. We already know that they lack the skill. Hey, we already know they don't have as much talent. But where's that belief? Where are the hard fouls? Where are the hustle plays? You making a whole bunch of hustle plays against Washington, and then all of a sudden you face Cleveland, and it just everybody's timid. Even though Isaiah Thomas said they're not scared of LeBron or whatever the case is. Even you might not be scared of LeBron, but the rest of your team is. Even Isaiah hasn't been the same. And for me, Isaiah's whole situation has changed because that whole emotional roller coaster of him losing his sister really might have impacted him more than we think it has, and it's kind of like hard to deal with. Like you're dealing with a loss, and you're losing in your professional career, so it's a double loss. So, but the rest of the team has no excuse. Somebody else has to step up, and nobody has. Al Horford, MIA. Crowder cannot hit a three. Avery Bradley, he has short stints and he can't play. They're going to a rookie in game 2 to post up Kyle Korver. That's how bad it is because nobody wants to step up. They're playing in fear and they just lack belief. Eastern Conference Finals is a wrap. The Western Conference Finals most likely is a wrap. We've had a really lackluster NBA playoffs. Besides the Washington Celtics series, everything has just been awful. Awful. Chuck was right. This is one of the most worst playoffs we've ever seen. This is Vlad from Hoops Junction, where Hoops meets Hoopla. Peace.